Hi, this is my aquariums, and yeah, screw it. I'm not gonna pretty them up because this is what it looks like right now. As I'm topping water, as I'm changing water, as I realize my red Von guppies aren't in the best shape right now. They might be alright to the casual viewer, but I know that they don't have the vigorousness they normally do. There's something going on here. They're skinnier, they're lethargic, and some of them are actually getting kind of a little bit of a curved spine. I don't think it's genetic. I think it's just old water, old things. So I did a 1 gallon out of 10. So I did like maybe like a 20%, did 2 gallons, 20% change. I checked the water. Nitrites and nitrates look great. pH looks great. So whatever's going on in here is probably a mild bacterial infection. And some of it might just be genetics. Like I got to get a couple of those females out of here, and because they're just, something has happened to them and they're not going to recover. I'm not necessarily going to destroy them, but I will put them outside to kind of live out their life with the other fish that I have. But similar thing kind of might be going on with the black mollies. So again, refresh the water, but it also could be the strain that's kind of being strained, right? Maybe a little bit too much. Maybe the females that are kind of spitting these out aren't as strong, and their babies aren't as strong either. This one here is some of the mutt guppies I brought in from outside. I brought them in to try and see if I can acclimate them and kind of beef them up a little bit. There's a few in here that probably could be taken in for a trade. I usually get about $1 for a mutt guppy when I trade them in. And there we got the platies I got going on. These guys are kind of a smaller version of a platy, calico platy. And right, I got a few in here that are kind of looking like, yeah, we're not quite up to par. So, but not everything's like that. Of, oh my goodness, these things aren't up to par. Because down here are some wagtail platies that I'm raising. Down here's one of the bigger ones, so I'm gonna keep her. And one of the things I have with the platies is that the wagtail version, the solid black tail and the solid black fins, along with a orange body. Sometimes you get like yellow body, like that guy there. What I've been finding with my wagtails is they start out with a yellowish body, and then as they get older, they start getting more orange. And so the wagtails actually are a dominant strain, I've learned about the platies. So if I have wagtails here, right, and I bred them with these calico platies, I'm most likely to get wagtails out of it. And so if I want more calicos, I gotta breed calico to calico and get those. Otherwise, it's gonna become a wagtail. Now, another one that is a dominant is we call it the Mickey Mouse platy. It's I got one in here. Oh, there he is, or she is, or whatever. It's got like the crescent on the tail, and then it's got the 2 dots that kind of make it look like Mickey Mouse's ears and head there. That's a dominant strain too. And what I've learned is they're still wanted. The Mickey Mouse look and the wagtail look, they're both very nice and wanted in the fish trade. And so I've decided to just start growing them up here. Not so much worry about them breeding out, but if I do get some babies in here, they do kind of grow up. I also have some in my bigger tank. Here at the top, black mollies. So I got a pretty good trio of black mollies from my local pet store, not fish store, called Fish World. They were kind of a self-in black molly, and so they have a deeper, longer body. But also it takes them longer to mature. And here's one of the males right there. It's also got a little tinge of lyre tail or leer tail. And so I think as I continue the colony, that might be my new male that I use male you see in the middle right there, he's kind of a more of a submissive male, probably not as strong as those other big ones. But what I notice when I have a bunch of black mollies like this together, I'll get one or two really dominant males, and maybe some late developing ones. Like I think that one there might be a late developing male. That fin at the top may start extending and then create like a sail fin look. And so with these fish, you got to be a little bit patient with them for them to get to that next level that you want. But the one thing going on with that tank is the pH is very low for what black molly's like, and I think that's why they're looking a little bit lethargic. And also there's quite a few in here, and I'm thinking that there's no problem with actually moving black mollies down here with these guys. They don't have to be separate from each other. They can live together. In fact, I have one black molly that lives with these guys because he's just not feeling that good, and he's been kind of living here for a while until he gets better. Up top, my 10 gallons as well, I got rice fish. So these are Medaka rice fish that I brought in from outside. They've been breeding and laying eggs and then having their babies and then that. And I decided to bring a few inside that would actually hopefully survive in case there's some sort of crash outside. I also have shrimp up there, but not quite as much as I used to. And so I'm going to go ahead and focus back on the red blonde guppies, because these are the guppies that I really, really want to get going again. And I'm realizing as I look at them, I'm going to have to be very intentional with them. Especially with some of these little tiny defects are popping up in the females. I'm thinking it's water quality, and I think it might be too late for them to bounce back. So I'm gonna put them outside. Outside is not a death sentence. Actually, outside is really freaking fun for them. They get to get real sun. They get to eat real like crustaceans and insects that fall into the tank, into the thing. But to give myself more of a vigorous line here, colony, I'm gonna have to move them. And what I'm also gonna do is probably add some salt here for them as well, and just in general, just clean this up, right? Yeah, the what's the excuse? Oh, it's a working fish room, but I want to be able to like enjoy my fish down here. It's not really a working fish room for me. It's actually what I prefer. This isn't a business. This is just a hobby. I like being able to provide an environment for living things to grow, and then if that environment is actually detrimental, and I can't figure it out in terms of pH, and that's why I'm thinking it might be genetic, and I also think it might be just in general, maybe nutrition and all that with them. And that kind of goes into why I do this, right? So if you've gotten this far, wow, you're looking at a dirty fish tank of just a bunch of guppies swimming around like I am. But when I first went back into the tropical fish hobby, at least in terms of breeding and additional tanks, it was more of an escape. And it was like, this is something different I can do. I'm bottled up at home, we're working from home, and apparently I'm not able to just wander off and go to someone's desk and just kind of talk with them, or run into someone in the hallway at work. Even though deep down inside, I was a social mess at work. I was always tense. I was always pretty much on edge at my desk as I'm working on my stuff and all the stuff's going on around me. But a lot of times I follow that instinct. Well, one, I had a type of job where they didn't require me to be there the whole time, which is a duality of, or it's this world of, it's better for you to get out and walk, but we need you on the phones, we need you processing this entire time, which those of you that know me in person is very ironic, because that is what I do. I actually measure people on their efficiencies and things like that. But it's not like we're not there with a whatchamacallit, stopwatch. Like, well, I used to be. I used to be the person with a stopwatch. But the whole point wasn't necessarily always to just follow people around and micromanage their every move. There's always a point to just like, how long does it really take to do these things? How many people will we need to do it? And for me, getting that very accurate number was my way of kind of making sure people didn't get hurt or at least didn't get hurt because of me, right? If I can give the most accurate information, if I can figure out the problem as to why maybe someone else is struggling in this and it isn't them, it's the actual system, then I am going to be the one to help point that to someone. And over the years, I kind of developed that skill and that relationship. And a lot of what I probably ended up doing was talking within the margins, connecting people as opposed to actually delivering a product, but bringing the message of what a product could do, bringing that to the people that can make change and actually lighten them up and see who it would be, So I kind of lost my way along that way for the last 6 or 7 years. When I started working from home, I started losing that connection, and I would just suck it up and say, okay, that's just the way it is now. And working from home is better for productivity. It's better for you. You don't have the anxiety. You don't have the high blood pressure. And then I stopped understanding what really made me human. And what makes me human is, I don't know if it's something that I knew before or if I forgot. And it's essentially, there is easy and there's hard. In between easy and hard is what we are always striving to do. There's a balance. Looking at this, the easy thing would be, all right, clean it up. That hornwort looks like it's dying, get it out of there. You got too much duckweed, get that out of there. You got algae, get it out of there. Clean the algae off, just kill it all. That's the easy way. No. The algae is growing for a reason. The hornwort is getting skinny for a reason. That duckweed up there, I'm actually growing it for a reason. Fish seem to enjoy that environment. Maybe they're not enjoying it right now. The fish are telling me something's going on in here and we don't like it. It could be that filter right there. You see it's barely bubbling right now. And with a lot of fish, it needs to probably be cleaned out. And that's probably the next step, is actually clean that filter. And that's the approach I'm taking back to life again, which is the approach I used to do years ago. I do it at the office, I do it at home. The things that bug me around me. Do the thing you can do now. Do that control now. Right? Look at my tank. What can I do now? What do I think is going to lead to the next step that what I need to do? Well, I did the first step, which was change the water. The second step is going to be to add some salt, because I need these guys to help with their defense against whatever small ailment is hurting them right now. I would say the equivalent that my fish are struggling within here, at least the ones that don't have the bent spine, they're struggling with a cold. But it's not necessarily a virus. It's probably just random bacterial stuff that's hitting them. But then I got fish like that guy right there. It's kind of blurry because, algae. He's one that I'm going to want to continue to have in here, to continue to hopefully pass the genes on to the rest of these fish. And the thing I got to fight is that the wants of others, don't let that drive what I do. Don't let that be my North Star. My North Star is make or provide an environment that I can make a guppy that looks like that. Look at that tail, that long fan tail. It's able to mostly carry its tail. It's very vigorous. Right there, it's dancing with the females, but obviously wants to do something, spread his genes. But the side of me is like, well, I gotta get these to the fish world and get them some of these red blonde guppies because they're low and they need some new ones into the world. But if I give him that guy, the guy with the tattered tail and showing signs of minor fin rot, which tell me again is a minor bacterial infection. Throw some salt in here, probably about 1 tablespoon per 10 gallons, or maybe to 2 or maybe to 3. We'll start at 1 for the first week and see if they respond, and if they don't, we'll go to 2, and so on. But the point is, don't start with salt. I mean, the point is, don't always have salt in there all the time, because then you're always going to have fish that are going to need that. It's the first defense, salt, and I found 95% of the time, it's all they need. There is the 5% of the time where a bacterial infection like this that's kind of shown up in a couple of the fish is something like Calamaris, or I think there's another one that's kind of like that. There's like 2 different types of bacteria, and it actually does need the treatment. But the magic thing is salt. The magic thing is do the DIY, do the thing that they're looking for naturally. And you'll see it too when they throw the salt in there. The fish will swim in the area the salt fell in, or in the cup that you put in. They'll automatically almost bathe themselves in it. It's like they're drawn to it. Even though we tell ourselves these are tropical fish, these are freshwater fish, they have an urge. They sometimes can figure out some stuff as well. And then kind of what I am doing is just trying to integrate and apply all those lessons. I'm 50 years old now, and the last 2 or 3 days are some serious lessons to be learned about myself, about how others perceived me, mostly those who I love and those who love me dearly. That the intention may be one thing, but the action might be another. And one of the big practices to help out with that is to care for something else, to care for fish, to care for your pets, to care for those type of things. And now again, I'm back here, and it's not an escape anymore. This is not an escape. This is fully integrated into my soul, and fully integrated into what I believe and feel we should get back to in the world. At one point I thought I could make this into a business, and I was keeping a ledger. And I was saying I bought these for this much money, I was able to sell this many, blah blah blah, and here's how much I gained, how much I lost. No, I'm not interested in any of that. That actually makes it worse. That makes me try to come in and just produce as much as possible and not do what I really intend to do, which is to help create something that I want to see back in the world. If I do that with action, talking to people, strangers, people I look like that might have a connection, people that look like they're asking a question or might be confused, and maybe I'm walking by and I might have something to say as I walk by. Sometimes I say the word and they don't respond. I've learned now that they're not ready. They're not communicating on the same frequency. They're probably thinking so much about their own internal processing that they probably didn't even recognize that you were there, that you said something to them. So you can't take it personally. And the reason why I've learned that it's okay to do it, it is me, The true unmasked version of me is very curious. Is always asking questions to himself and is sweating because he can't answer them. In an environment that's open, that's integrated, that's inclusive, I don't feel like I'm being judged by how I look or what I say or what I think. It comes out, and the product of that is beautiful. Because beauty is something that's not perfect. Beauty is looking at an accident and saying, I think I can do something with that. These guppies, no, I don't need them. Hey, let them go. See, like right now. So there's a baby that just got born, and everybody's chasing him around. And that's why I keep the hornwort in here, so that those babies can get away. Which reminds me, I'm gonna throw some food in here so they don't go eating all the babies that are being born in here. And then my stepson's out there just laughing and yelling because he's playing probably Rocket League. But that's all right. Why not? That's me. That's what my channel's gonna be about. It's gonna be about just me, the things I do, the things I think about when I do them. And if you don't like it, I don't care. In fact, I don't even want this video to go anywhere. I don't want this video to show up in any algorithm. I just want this video to be somewhere that if someone happened to look, if someone said, I wonder what Chad was doing on August 8th, 2026, or I wonder what red blonde guppies even look like. Not the pretty picture, not the perfect one that they chose, but what does a colony of them with multiple of them that are trying to be bred look like? What does someone who actually does sell these to a fish store, what does their setup look like? And I'm not ashamed to show it anymore. Because I know this is healthy. I also know it could be better. I also know that and feel that anyone's reaction or feelings about what is going on here does not matter to me. I'll continue to do my thing. I might record it, I might not, but I'm not going to apologize if it's not perfect, if it's not a beautiful planted tank, if it's fuzzy because there's algae everywhere, if I'm following a fish that you don't want me to follow. Too bad, I'm following the fish I want to follow. This is my channel, and it's for me. And if you want to share with it, great. If you want to extract from it, if you want to pull me into an argument, it's not going to happen. Anyway, that's it with these guys. I'm going to actually do some work on it. And, yeah. See you next time I do something, if I ever do. This might be the first and last video I do like this.